All right, guys. Thank God it's Friday. And they say we're going to talk about serious things today, and I'm not a very serious person.
Try.
So I don't know how this is going to go. But yeah, thank God it's Friday. My name is Kel Blaze, and welcome to the Kel Blaze studio. So, briefly, we're going to introduce ourselves and then we're going to get into it. Should we start from left or right? Left or right? Left
From
or
right.
right?
From right.
Of course, you'd
From
say
left.
that.
Hi, my name is Samuel Adiola Music. I do everything in between. If you look at music, anything in between, that's me. From sound to piano to bass guitar to production, that's me. So, yeah. And I'm also, side fact, I'm also a geologist. So, yeah. All right.
What is
What does that
geology?
mean?
Jesus. These kind of people who are going to stay with Jesus. But geology is just the study of rocks and oil. So I know that's juicy.
Oil.
Yes,
Wow.
oil.
Okay.
So yeah, mining. So everything in between. Yeah.
Okay, you're like in between. We'll
I'm
keep in
always-
between for you. So the next question is still from my
I'm always
left.
in between, but don't go somewhere else. But I'm in between.
I'm never gonna ask. So
All right, me. Hi, I am Sino. You can call me, my full name is Sinovuyo, but you can call me Sino. My surname is Ndamase. I sell wedding dresses. If anybody's not married here and is planning to, I sell suits. And I'm a musician. I do voiceovers, I do adverts, I work in radio. Yeah.
nice.
And finally, to my
Oh, me.
right,
I thought we are going.
We're done.
Okay. Oh, okay.
you have to skip me now.
Okay. No, it's all good. Okay. So I'm Victory. Nice to meet everyone here. I've been involved in a bunch of things from engineering to marketing to apps and that kind of thing. Don't worry about me. What else is there to say about me?
What about Zook?
Oh yeah, I try to develop businesses. That's what I specialize in. I like developing businesses, so I tend to integrate tech, marketing, branding, and all these things into one, and hope to use that to help develop the next generation of African businesses. And we do that through Zook.
That's
I
what's
think
up.
we should
Zouk,
write that down.
guys.
Yeah.
Zouk. Okay, we're cooking and we're getting straight into it. I wanna get your opinions on something. Having kids before you get married, or not having kids before you get married. Now, before we get into it, I'm a philosopher, so I care more about the detail. So there's a morality scale and some other things. But let's get our opinions. Let's start from left again.
Which soap did I use to bath today? Or what did I drink
You
today?
never experiment.
Yo, no, this is hot. Okay, okay. I don't know. Hey, God. Okay. Morally wise, I would say no kids before marriage. Yeah. But also, when you look at a lot of, I feel there is no right or wrong answer. I feel so many factors come into play. Sometimes it can be age, someone who is not married at age 40 now, you'll be looking like, man, when my kid is now reaching that adulthood, like 18 years or 20 years, you are already quarter to finish, like 60 years or 70. Your lifespan is, So I feel there's no right or wrong answer. But morally wise, I would say no kids before marriage. But then if it eventually happens, then it's not the end of the world. That's just where I stand. So it's not the end of the world because kids are beautiful. I mean, having a kid is one of the most amazing miracles in the world. So yeah, For now, that's my when I try my
I don't think you are getting into it. Let me explain to you. Now, from what you said, someone is at 40, they're getting closer to menopause. You'd advise that they have a child. Now, I want you to talk from the ethical and from the moral aspect. Ethically, is it right to say that, oh, because someone had a child? Now, also, when you're describing, look at the context of a child itself. It's a child that is something wrong. What is the yardstick that you are saying in this time frame? Oh, because the person is not married. Is a child the reason that we get married for? If yes, is children excluded to only married people? Now, you have to look at it, you have to come off your religion, you have to come off your belief and look at it in a very holistic approach and say, okay, this is the reason I think it is wrong, or this is the reason that it should be wrong to have kids before marriage. Ne? If you have to say it is wrong, then you have to prove to me that this particularly makes it wrong, and it has to be universally agreeable to say, okay, yeah, if you have a child before you marry, you die.
Okay, to rebut her name, what I would say is from where I stand from my own beliefs, religion or not, those things make who I am. So for me, I would say anyone shouldn't have any business in making a child if you're not financially stable. Because having a child, there's a lot of real estate that comes with that. And when I mean real estate, I'm talking about nappies, I'm talking about the emotional nurture. It's mentally taxing too. So if you and one major thing that I see happening in so many relationships, in so many even marriages, even you can be married and then you have a kid and everything just goes away because of finances. So finances is one key. If you don't have it, you have no business having a child. It's not fair on the child, ethically speaking. Now, it's not fair on the child if there are no like some redundant measures put in place. That okay, if I have a child now, you know, do I have the resource to take care of the child? Now, if you engage in activities that will bring the child, that's your own. I mean, that's on your own. But ethically speaking, if you don't have the means to take care of an entire human being, and not just finances now, emotionally nurture, be emotionally present, because those things mold that that child, be it a male or a female. So from my own point of view, if you've got the finances covered, you can travel, you can that's me.
So for you,
for me, yeah.
Marriage doesn't play like the major factor.
Yeah, because
when you're financially ready.
When you're financially ready, because yeah, a kid needs both the female nurture and the male nurture. But then, obviously, you can't have a kid all by yourself. There is always two beings involved, like a male and a female. So
that is another topic I'm going to get into. Let's hear from another person. I think you can have a kid by yourself.
Really?
But yeah,
Wow.
why not?
Okay, I'd love to learn about that one.
We're going to
no, I mean, I'm sure like people who adopt, you can decide to adopt a kid. I mean, and it's actually a whole other it's a whole other conversation.
Like I said, it's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
So let's hear from you now.
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Zook.
Thank you. It's a very interesting one. Usually, how I like to deal with issues. In a perfect world, what's the ideal? So, in a perfect world, ideally, you want both parents, not just from a religious or religion perspective, just from a universal, I think you put it.
Before I forget, you believe in an idea that there is a perfect world.
No. I'm saying ideally.
Has there ever been a perfect world? that you've or other people that you know have lived in.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
No.
Then why should we be trying to do things
In a
the
perfect
way
word.
No,
when
I'm-
we know that it's almost impossible to have a perfect world? It's still going to be chaotic.
So, so where I was getting to was, in a perfect world, this is what the rules, and that's why I think rules are like it's a standard.
Mm.
So the way I see it is, what's the next best thing based on the circumstances,
Okay.
right? So, ideally, I would, like you said, if you don't have money, don't bother, right? If you don't have the time, or if you're not willing to take that time out of your day to raise a child because of your hustle or whatever,
Mm.
don't do it. As to the concept of marriage now, I'm a bit old school. I don't think marriage happens when the ring comes in. I think it happens way before. The ring is just, from me now,
Okay.
the ring is like a public announcement. That way you guys don't have to sneak around anymore and you can hold hands in public without getting your eyeballs, But ideally, you guys
Okay.
there's a union already. Now, obviously, in the world we live in, when you follow those rules, I mean, if you look at relationships today, I don't think they follow. So I can't speak for everyone else. So if you're already united with the person you want to be with, again, in a perfect world, you guys are not gonna mess around. You're not gonna, cuddle in bed. But we know the real world. You're gonna cuddle. You're gonna hold
But
hands.
what me I would say is like, even for whether cuddle or no cuddle, there are situations whereby you guys will love each other so much, and once a kid come into the mix, it's like, especially it's common with the female gender, even though it's not exclusive to the female gender, where they just transfer that love from the husband right to the child, and then there is no emotional availability for the man. It's all transferred to the kid. So that's why sometimes this thing is like check and balances. Having a kid before or after, it's a whole whole lot of check and balances that needs to be done.
No, I mean, and again, that's where the concept of what's the next best thing in that situation. So, and this is where maybe I'm going a bit into a different topic now. What's the role of a man? As a man, when you're having your fun in the bedroom, in your head, at the back of your mind, you know that there's a risk of this thing happening. So if you know there's a risk of this thing happening, you know that if it happens, you should be willing to take responsibility. And so in the case, I think we're having a conversation earlier in the car, this concept of a crazy woman, right? If you know that you don't want to have a child with a crazy woman, then run. So it goes back to the question of, can a man hold himself enough to run away from a crazy woman? And this is where all this
Me, I would like to hear from a female perspective
What's
though.
the crazy? Oh, sorry. Just-
cycle, the baby mama dramas that we hear about a lot.
Yeah,
sorry. Okay. When do you realize that she's crazy?
That's my point. So that's
Oh.
for the guy, right? The
Yeah.
guy knew that she was crazy all along
From the beginning.
from the
He
beginning,
still slept with
and
her.
it's still, and that's where
Wow.
I'm saying
You are
now
very
that
strong.
the man has so there's a responsibility there as well, that if that happens, you're supposed to understand that yes, you're in the shit, but it's a shit of your own making.
So is it the child's fault now?
That's my point. You have to make it work, and this is where the man, I feel like a big responsibility rests on that man, especially if you should understand the repercussions that, hey, this one night or this whole, I like toxic, there's a potential that this can happen. And you must accept that if you do it, it means for the next 20 years of your life, it's going to be hell. And maybe if men start thinking a lot more like that, you're forced to rethink, do I really want to, invite this girl over?
But I think, right, if you are going to have a whole baby with someone for any reason, right, it should be premeditated. Or at
It should
least
be.
pondered on.
In the perfect world.
Because you were saying something like, okay,
perfect
she's crazy.
Yeah.
Because she's crazy. Why would you get a crazy person pregnant? If you
Why
do
you
not
But
sleeping
know-
with
wait,
crazy
wait,
people?
wait,
So-
wait, wait.
Why are you
What,
sleeping with
what
crazy
if,
people?
what if she's
Kidding.
all calm, all lovey-dovey, all cute and klutzy and whatnot. And then once the baby lands like this, turns to a different person, and then that affects even your,
Just a
between each
question.
other.
Because
Like in the
long
in the
run,
whole thing, like from the beginning, you're telling me there was no signs of
But
nothing.
the-
No red flag, nothing. It was all green.
we
some
even
people can
moving away
pretend.
We're
Yo.
moving away, yeah, a
away
little
from,
bit.
from the context now, right? The context remains that I'm of the opinion that a child is an innocent being.
True.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And-
100.
Are they though?
Timing, timing, right? Actually should be about when the child should come, should be whether the people are mentally and physically matured enough. Should be the first question that should be asked. Then are they psychologically available and ready for a child? Before are they financially
Thank you.
available for the child? And then are you physically available for the child?
Sure.
Now, a lot of people are in these brackets that I just mentioned, but they're not married.
So just to, and I think maybe we need to clarify the question here, because it sounds like there's two different children we're talking
Narrative,
about.
yeah.
So there's children that are sort of planned, where you have like a conversation with your spouse and you're like, okay, I think it's time. Whether it's before marriage or after, that's different. But there's that. And then there's a lot of people have children. And it seems like a lot of people that have these children, especially unmarried children, seem to be unplanned.
I don't agree to
I
that.
think no, I think he's trying to get the question. So I think what he's asking is, or what he's saying is, he believes, right, that no matter the reason, whatever the reason is, you should at least have a conversation before you
the
have this
person.
child. Like, you can't just
Okay.
have a child with a person, whether you're married or not married. Like, there should be a conversation. Okay, now I think we're ready to have a child. And what he's saying is, be emotionally there, psychologically there, financially there. Make sure that all these aspects are met before you have this child. Know that you'll be able to be there for this child financially in all types of ways. So I think that's what he's saying. He's not.
okay.
It's not two different people having
Okay.
kids.
So yeah, I'm still talking about the holistic thing.
Okay. Just
Right.
the
Whether or not these people are married, right?
okay.
It's universally acceptable now that everyone wants to say, "Oh, you're not married. You have a child. You're not married." People look at some girls and you're like, "You have 2 children.
They
you're
do.
Not married." But she's taking care of the children
They do.
way better
True.
than
They do.
But I feel that's even
married couples
judgmental,
that are
even
playing
though.
house
It
at
is.
home.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are married that have kids and not
Yeah.
even taking proper care of these children.
Yeah.
I look online and I see very beautiful kids, well taken care of, properly dressed, speaking nice English.
Yeah.
They mostly from baby mamas.
Yeah.
Their parents are.
Single mothers.
Do you understand? So, like I'm saying, I don't want us to move away from the question. We're talking about
The
time
marriage
frame,
factor, yeah.
right? Is the marriage factor, right, the key? How do I put it now? Is it the key that unlocks the door to being ready to
Yeah.
make children? Because I will take it a bit back to where I come from in the African mentality. People just get married and immediately they get married. They just start
Even they
Have
feel you
kids.
have something wrong
telling
with
you,
you.
10.
There's something wrong with you if
They
you
just
don't.
start
you know?
Yeah.
And these children constitute a lot of nuisance.
Yo.
So my question right from time, having lived in a society where it's a bit not controlled how many children that you have, and you just get married and then you give birth to this one, whether he comes out right, you don't even care. They don't even check the basics, genotypes and things like that. A lot of things just happen, right?
No.
And so is it like the key that opens the door and say, okay, Kevin, go and
It's time.
multiply."
Say God multiply.
Be fruitful.
but it's something that needs
Yo,
It's something
Kel,
that needs to
please.
be addressed. I feel like if two people are together, we're
Yeah.
going to hear from a female perspective
Yeah.
now. But I feel like if two people are together, whether the world is ideal or not ideal, if you don't want children, if you're not ready for children, use protections. We're not trying to tell you that we're Christians, don't do this and don't do that. It then brings the sense of responsibility that I know whether or not that I am not married, I don't want a child yet. The same thing applies to couples in marriages. You're advised if you can't afford the child now, if you're not ready for the child now, this child, what do they call it? Those pills they take all the
Birth
periods.
control.
What do they call it? Contraceptives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family planning thingy, things like that.
Yeah.
So my question remains: is marriage the time to say go 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 go, or should we actually as people come together, whether married or not, and decide whether are we this ready, that ready, or that ready, and can we stop having emergency
Yeah. No, but speaking of, because now it's going to end on that thing of yes, taking responsibilities and stuff, but we are not considering the fact that there are societal influence whereby they look at you've not seen people, they will calculate how many years you've been married or how many times you've been like they're like you've been married for how long now? And then there is that stigmatization that still comes with it, which now pressures individuals to now, like, okay, let's just have this baby by all means. I don't know if you get. Yes, I get the taking responsibility.
Should it be so though? Why should I care what even my parents that don't live with us in the same house, they don't understand my finances as well as my partner does. They don't understand my tantrums. They don't understand that I want to sleep in the morning and I don't want a baby to go nyeh, nyeh, nyeh yet. Do you understand? These are things that it's going to boil down to the two of us, right? They're going to go home. The ones that say,
100.
oh, you've been married for 5 years and you don't have a kid now, they're just going to look through the door and say, oh, daddy this, how's your baby? They don't even ask if the baby has eaten. So when we say society, I think we're moving from a time now where when somebody just says something, I say, okay, it's your opinion, thank you. Because it's a big decision to just say society made me. Because in the long run, like I said, some people just get married and because society say let's give birth, they have 10, 5 of which are robbing people on the street.
But you know, that's the reality of the world we live in, though. Because me, I like to look at things the way they are, irrespective of how we try to, sugarcoat it. The thing is, there is that pressure being mounted, whether we like it or not, whether you don't give a damn or not. That pressure, it's even not just even from society or from family, even amongst friends.
Pressure to have babies can never be Kevin.
I think that times have changed. That in terms of societal influences and all that, times have changed. There are certain things that were acceptable back then.
Yeah, and that
Society
over time.
That now this generation is like, but no, I don't have to do this because you did it then. For example, there's this thing in our culture called uktwala. Uktwala basically means that an old man from another village can see me as a young 15, 16-year-old from another village or the same village and think, oh, okay, I want her as a wife. It was acceptable then. You will get arrested today. No lie, you will get arrested today because there are certain things that are accepted then that are not acceptable today. So I think now it's just a matter of you as that couple, or as that individual, as that husband, as that wife. Mostly it's the husband's family that likes to pressure the husband or the wife into saying, you've been married to your wife for 3 years now. Where is the baby? We want, before mama dies, before tata dies, we want them to have grandkids. It's up to you to take that stand and actually say, we know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Android.
society or no society, family or no family, it's actually up to the couple or the individual to actually take that stand. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm. I actually do second that, but I just wanted to be check and balances because there's that influence whether we like it or not.
Sure.
You
So
understand?
you don't think people should get married first?
I think they should actually.
Why?
I think they should. Okay. So as a person, I have a 10-year-old daughter, right? I got her when I was extremely young. I'm not going to say my age, lest people start calculating. I was extremely young. I had no business to be having babies, lest looking at boys. I had no business at all. But I got my child when I was very, very young. And the advice I give to, so I'm the eldest of 4 kids, all girls. The advice I give to my sisters is please, books before boys, because boys bring babies. Look the opposite direction. If a boy looks at you, run away. Because I don't want them to have babies at a very young age, right? Because I know what I went through when I had a child at a young age. I know we're not talking about teenage pregnancy, but we're actually talking about people having kids before they get married, right? So I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't advise it. I'm a single mom. My baby daddy is still very much alive and kicking. All right? Doing whatever it is that he's
it a
doing. Let's
toxic
not talk about that. Right? He's very much alive, but I find myself with the responsibility of having to raise a child. I don't have a memory of a childhood because I had to raise a child as a child. You understand? So those, I would read, okay, you said, let's not talk about religion and beliefs and all that, but there's no conversation or opinion that I would have without putting, say, this is what I believe and this is what I believe because I believe people should get married first. I know there's no formula in terms of married couples take better care of their children, but I would say, please just get married first before having a child. That's my stand. That's my chat.
Okay.
And for me, I feel raising a kid is such a huge responsibility.
Very much. Oh gosh.
And it's a word is a renowned word knowledge that 2 heads are better than 1. So there are some places where you can triumph and like yes, I mean especially in cases whereby okay, as a single dad or as a single mom, there are some parts that you still need that other partner. So now you now have to rely on or hope that partner, even if you guys are not together, is responsible enough to. But if it's marriage, I feel marriage is like some sort of enclosure that at least mitigates that nuances of irresponsibility. Let me put it that way.
Okay. For me, I believe that at every time that people decide to get have children, whether or not that they married, right, should be taken out of the box, and the most important things should be dealt with first. Like you just said, having to raise a child as a child. There's 2 people. I've seen a lot of things in my country. You see 2 young people, 16, 18, they get married. Both of them will raise a child
Crazy.
as a child. Right? So the right boxes should be ticked. Because in the long run, marriage is a union of love and what all. But the children that come out of those unions, whether they married or whether they co-parenting or, do you understand? There is a direct effect on the same society that is pushing people to do whatever they're gonna do because the children go into the society. Ne? So if these couples, for instance, like my brother said, they're 5 years in, they don't feel so ready yet, they're still struggling with the monies, they're still doing this, they don't have a lot of time yet, right? But because they're pressured into having children, I feel like those little pressures, those small tweak that bring imbalances are what actually make children not to grow up the right way, right? And that is something that should be looked at. Like I said, where I'm from, some people just get married and it's like a certificate. They say, go.
Be
They
fruitful
just
and
go.
multiply.
They just go and go and go and go
But
without
for me, though,
planning.
I feel for a kid turning out right, yes, the responsibility is for the parents to, whether the mom or the dad, to show like this is what to do, right, wrong. But the responsibility for that kid to turn out right, the responsibility still relies on the kid.
I totally disagree with you. Now, in philosophy, there's something we call a tabula rasa. It's the state of a child when he or she is born. There's nothing. Now, the things that put things in that mind, environment, the things that we teach them, habits that we let them pick, right? There
Right.
are instances, 10 in 100,
Mm.
where some people just decide to behave some kind of way. And even in those instances,
This one,
when they are well investigated,
Yeah.
you would find out that when they were growing up, they didn't fly from heaven and say, oh, you need to be very rude now. It might not be the parents. It might be the parents were looking away and he's friends with somebody that is swearing now and cussing. What do you expect? They're going to come home and swear at you. And if
That's
that
why I
person
said.
has,
That's
if
why I
that
said
person
the
is-
responsibility
it's
is on the child. Yeah.
you see this things that that's why I'm saying the little things that don't matter. Maybe that child now the parents are busy and he's chilling with me. I'm a city boy. He's gonna get
But have you seen situation
telling
whereby
you,
the
the child is
the
gonna get spoiled. Maybe I
no
smoke,
no no no
maybe I
see
smoke weed,
see.
I
But
will
have you
not give- I may
seen?
not give the child weed, but he sees a normal city boy blinging up, looking all nice. I'm smoking weed. Maybe weed is what is making me look so cool.
Do you know one thing? I have a friend. Guys. I have a friend who his parents were. When they say we they monitor, they were there emotionally, psychologically. Even he says it that and I get better parents, but I just chose. I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
At the time that you choose, you're no longer a child. We're talking about the times that you were a child. Ne?
How old
At
are
the
you when you're
time,
not a
So,
child?
that's
a lot
another
of people,
good.
a lot of people with now, some 12-year-olds are adults. I'm telling you, some 12-year-olds are adults.
Okay,
They do
yeah,
whatever they want.
I
Yeah,
agree
but
with
are
that
they
though.
not still a
Because
child?
puberty is coming forward. Before they say, oh, women start getting to puberty and start menstruating at a particular age. Now it's coming very forward.
But there's
And
the
now-
biological,
And
there's the
now, that's why-
biological way, child, and then there's the
it's
psychological.
It's coming forward.
Yeah, okay.
You know why I'm saying this is because when a child gets to a certain age and when they look in the mirror, not even a child, when I look at myself in the mirror in a certain way at a time that I've grown up, there is this feeling of, okay, I'm a big boy now. You get? So at that point, I feel like most of the work should be done. We all have been children. Ne? There is times where we feel like, okay, maybe if you live in a house like mine, when my father spanks you, there's an age where he spanks us. I don't think about anything after the spanking. There's an age I get to, I go to my room and I get furious. There's an age that I get to, I go to my room and I say, if my father hits me again, there'll be problems in this house. Do you understand? So I feel like there's age, it might be different for each person, but there's an age where you say, okay, I feel like you know what is right and you know what is wrong. It's like a baby will bite you and they will laugh.
Assholes.
Would you say they know what they do?
Wait,
They
are
do
you talking
actually.
from personal experience?
I actually think they do, and this is
What
where.
they done?
But this is why the reason why, this is where I'm coming from with children. I used to think they were cute, and they are all sweet and
They are
stuff.
cute, bruh.
No, of course it's cute when they're biting you as a child. But the reason why they're biting you is because that's who they are internally. So the reason why I think kids are not necessarily innocent, I think you guys have heard stories of the township where there are people that come out and build businesses,
Yeah,
exposed to the same environment, same household,
yeah.
but there's the other one that chose the the drug way or the killing
Yeah.
someone way, or crime way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it does. I think the heart of the kid, if it's someone that's wicked,
Yo.
if it's a wicked child at heart,
Yo. God. What did
No,
they
wait,
do to you?
For clarity, I don't think any child
no, kids are assholes.
No, I did not say that
I'm sorry.
too. I did not say that. Let me be
Kids
on
get
record.
better as they get older. But when
Is
they're
it
kids,
genetic? What?
Yo,
I don't know why.
I'm even trying to figure out in what scenario.
And this is where,
Today he will tell us.
on one side, I can't deny the environment makes it different. It's a factor. Just like we could go on the road right now, and we're going to be exposed to so many things. But to a certain extent, even the ones that we don't like, we might try it maybe the one time, the two times. But after that, we're like, nah, it's not for me. Or that's not who I am. So you do something that's more aligned to your personality. I guess that's the easiest way to quantify it. So with kids, there's a kid that would hit you and you get angry and they'll feel bad. And there are kids that would hit you, and then they smile.
How old is this kid?
But we've seen that though. Like,
But they have babies.
Okay.
so that I'm not saying we should now hate
they are
them.
evil.
No, wait. I am saying at the end of the day, as a parent, it doesn't mean you must throw them away. And you still have a role as a parent to discipline them and try and so on. But if they end up still going their own way, it's not especially if you tried your best as a parent. At that point, you did all you could. This is between them and their God now and their conscience, because now they're no longer, they can't hide under the I'm a child excuse anymore. But when they're babies and they're biting and smiling,
They're evil.
they
You
can
can still
hide
pardon,
under that.
you can-
Right? You can forgive.
I don't agree. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't agree. I have a 10-month-old, man.
Okay.
Right? She would not bite me, but she would bite the mom and be happy about it. Now, let me explain. I am a person that is quick to correct. Right? It means when you do something and that you are my friend or you are my family and I actually care about what you do, right? I will tell you almost immediately. Right? And it is how I am with my child.
Yeah.
The mom will say, oh, she's a child, and just laugh. Oh, the baby's biting me. I'm like, but she doesn't bite me. Because I will say, listen, this is bad. And we don't laugh about it. I will not laugh back at you. Those are like the things that I feel like the ways the children depends on the parents. But I feel like as human beings, we're excited about things. The child just got a new pair of teeth. Relax.
But I mean, that's an example of what I mean. Like, and again, there's a concept of you have to discipline your child. But there are people, and this is an example of where you actually have a good child that listens. There are kids that don't listen.
I think our brother doesn't like babies.
No, I just don't like that they're called this cute.
Okay, guys. I wanted to talk about 3 things, but we ended up talking about just a topic which I had fun talking about. Thank God it is still Friday, all right? And we're
Very
still
much.
Fair enough.
at the Kelblaze studio. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow us on all our social media platforms. I think on Instagram, we're at Kel_Blaze_studio. Here on YouTube, Kelblaze Entertainment. On TikTok, Kelblaze Studio. Any other place, Kelblaze Studio that I can't remember. But peace out.
You did there. Nice.